Hi there. Good morning. How are you doing today? Great. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm Dr. Heather. It's so nice to meet you. So, I see that you are in today for a sports physical. You must be headed back to school soon. That's really exciting. So, what sport do you play? Great. No, I was never super athletic at school, but I always admired everybody who got really into their sports. I thought that was so cool. Well, today should be a pretty straightforward sports physical. We'll do a couple different things just to check that you are all good and healthy to play this season. And then, barring anything unforeseen, at the end I'll give you a form to take to your coach and let them know that you are ready to play. How's that sound? Great. So I'd love to start by just getting some basic information from you. I know a lot of this is already in our system, but we just like to make sure that things are up to date, okay? Great. Would you mind spelling your full first and last name for me? Perfect. And can you confirm your date of birth? Wonderful. And what grade are you entering into this year? And what's the name of your school? And I see here that we have your mother listed as your emergency contact. Is that still correct? Perfect. And she is at the number ending in 1105, correct? Wonderful. Perfect. Now I'd just like to ask you a few questions about your general health, just to see if there's anything that immediately stands out that we should address, okay? Great. So, are you currently taking any kind of medication, whether it's prescription, or over the counter, maybe something prescribed to you by another doctor? Okay. Have you ever passed out or felt uncomfortable or pain in your chest during exercise or in, the hours after exercise? Do you know of anyone in your immediate family that has a serious heart problem? And that would include your grandparents, aunts and uncles, parents, brothers and sisters. Okay. Do you know of any other serious illnesses in your immediate family, or have there been any recent deaths? Great. Have you ever had a broken bone, a ligament injury, muscle strain, anything that kept you from playing your sport, maybe last season or in previous years? Have you ever suffered a head injury or a concussion, anything like that? Have you ever had a seizure? And do you wear glasses or contacts? And finally, have you ever taken any kind of supplements to help you gain or lose weight for your sport or gain muscle, anything along those lines? Great, okay, perfect. We have to ask that last one. Wonderful. And lastly, I'd like to just confirm with you, is it okay if I touch you during our exam? If you ever feel any pain, uncomfortability, anything of that sort, feel free to let me know. We can stop, we can move on to something else, anything. Great. So the first thing I'd like to do is just quickly measure your height. This should be super fast. If you'll just back up against the wall, I'll just lean towards you. Perfect. So it looks like you've grown about 1.5 inches. So that's right on track. It's exactly what we like to see. Just make a note of that. Would you like me to record your weight as well while we are here? It's completely optional, but I always like to ask. No pressure either way if you would prefer not to today. Not today. No worries at all. Great. We'll move on. So, of course, I've already washed my hands for this exam, but I'm going to go ahead and just put on gloves just for an extra layer of protection. Wonderful. So, in this part of the exam, I'm going to be taking your blood pressure and checking your heart rate as well as your heart and lungs. If you wouldn't mind just rolling up your sleeve and sticking out your arm so I can quickly measure your pulse. Awesome. Thank you. Pulse looks perfectly normal. Now, if you would just roll your sleeves up as high as you can so that I can go ahead and take your blood pressure. Perfect. And I'll just go ahead and wrap this around your arm. Great. Perfect. Wonderful. 110/70. Looking perfectly healthy there as well. Great. Now, if you wouldn't mind just sliding towards the edge of the bed, I'm going to go ahead and take a listen to your heart and your lungs, just to listen for any kind of murmurs, any trouble breathing, anything like that. Okay? Great. So, if you could just breathe normally for me. And then if you could take in a big deep breath, as much as you can take. And let it out. And one more. And let it out. Your heart and lungs sound great. No problems there that I can find. Perfect. So the next thing I'd like to do is just quickly check your reflexes and then examine a couple of spots on your body just to ensure there's no pain or discomfort. Okay, does that sound good? Great. So if you could kind of move back towards the edge of the bed and just let your legs sort of dangle from the knee, that would be perfect. Wonderful. So I have my little hammer here. I'm just gonna quickly tap on your knee. Shouldn't hurt at all. Perfect. And one more. Perfect. And then if you would hold your arms out for me as well, I'd like to just check your elbows. Great. And great. Wonderful. Everything looks wonderful. Do you mind if I quickly just press on a couple of areas of your stomach and then as well your neck to ensure that there's no kind of spinal pain, no injuries, and that everything looks good in your core? Perfect. So you just kind of sit there and just breathe normally. Just 1 second. How does it feel when I press on this area? just press down with your lower jaw into my hand. Great, perfect. Everything looks good. Great. So we are getting towards the end of our time together. As you mentioned that you do wear contacts, I would like to just quickly give you a super simple vision test. It's not going to be as thorough as what you'd get at a normal eye doctor, but just to make sure that your prescription seems up to date, okay? Can you read this line right above the green? Wonderful. And how about this right below the red? Great. And then what's the smallest line that you feel like you can comfortably read? Perfect. So the last thing I always like to do during these physicals is just check in with how you've been feeling mentally, emotionally, all of that. So how have you been feeling lately? Have you felt more sad or anxious or angry than normal? Good. And how has your sleep been as well as your eating habits? Great. And do you feel like you have a good support system around you between your family, your school, and your friends? Wonderful. And is there anything else that we didn't cover either in this section or any other that you'd like to chat about today? Great. Well, it's wonderful to see that things seem to be going well. If that ever changes, please feel free to just give my office a call and we can work on setting up a plan together to kind of get things back on track. I know that high school is a very difficult time without even adding on all of the athletics and extra things that you do, so just like to keep an eye on that over time. Great. So we are all done for today. All that you need to do now is take this form to your coach that I filled out, and it'll let them know that you are all good to go to play this season. And then you can just check out at the front desk and they will help you set up another physical for after your next birthday. Great. Well, it was a pleasure seeing you today. Thank you so much for coming in, and I'm sure we'll see each other again soon.